Let's start our thick brick wall window now. I created this other view kind of to give you a little more feeling for it. Actually, the opening, it goes right to the center of the opening with this angled piece. It comes up from the bottom about the same amount. This one is actually a little bit variable. This one could actually stay fixed as if it was always just draining that. There's a little bit of a kind of a mismatch with the textures here, but I don't find that objectionable in distant viewing with it. It would be really a difficult thing to actually construct, but it's kind of a play with the brick texture and then with this idea of the deep facade, which also introduces the idea that if you didn't want to use brick, that would fine. You could use a more toned down or monolithic kind of texture if you wanted to. So let's get started with that. One of the things I wanted to remind us though is that I set up this texture and instead of having to completely repeat it every time, I might want to remind you that we could save this as a template because as we make more walls, we want to have, um, we'll call it common render. Oops. And then we can apply that to all walls. So we have the same kind of lighting every time. We don't have to reset it. And then if we wanted to make a global change, we could also. So I've saved that. I hope that all popped up on your screen. I think it did. Anyway, you've been through that process enough. So we'll save that. Um, I've lost my mouse. There we go. Okay. And let's go ahead now and open up a window, a generic window element. So we're going to go to New, Family, and dig our way into a window. And right away, our wall is not really a representative because it's the generic 6-inch. So let's go ahead and make it, let's duplicate it and make it the 18-inch one. And this is actually one of the places where we want to be thinking about wrapping a little bit. We'll go ahead and click OK for that right now. And this wall should then now be 18 inches thick. Let's just kind of verify that. It says 6 inches. Oh, I know, I didn't change the substructure. I'm glad I checked that. Um, I got a little distracted there. Okay, now we have our nice deep thick wall. This is the exterior, so remember we're probably going to want to make our extrusion or our angle on that component. I'm going to make one extra, I guess, line here. So I'm going to go to Create, make a reference line. I'm going to go ahead and pull this across here, and then I want to make a. Let's see how I can move this here. I'm going to drag it down until it touches this reference point, and then I'm going to move it up. Let's say we'll move it up 3 inches. That gives us kind of a flat area where we can actually insert the window element into it. And now let's go ahead and create an extrusion here. So I'm going to go to Create. I'm going to make that angled extrusion. We're going to draw that with lines. So we'll start in here. We'll come straight down. Oops, I don't have this on continuous. We're going to come straight down there. And then from here to here. And then from here to here. Click. All right, and we'll complete that extrusion off. We're going to have to give it some materiality, but let's just first go to the exterior elevation of this. I don't know why that's always so small. I'm going to zoom extents. We're going to go ahead and pull this up until it touches and locks the top constraint of the window. And we'll pull this down and lock it to the bottom. And now if we do any changes to that, whoops, and that's not going to happen because we've already got one constraint on it. I'm just going to cancel out of that. You can't see the warning. It came up on another screen. So I'll just cancel out of that. The one thing I want to do to this extrusion, though, is to add our material. And I think we called it tile as brick. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to create a new material that I'm not going to actually give any other kind of definition to. I'm not going to create a new material that's just got the same name. So that once it's in tile as brick, I hope I got that right. And we'll say OK to that. And we'll actually save this, right? So I'm going to do a save as family. I'm going to call it deep window. Deep window video. So we can come back to that. We'll go ahead and load that into the project. That may not, I don't know if my save as came up on that screen. I apologize if it didn't show up. And this is going into first wall because that's the project we're working in. And let's go ahead and try to place that window. And we need really a better view here. So actually we can see it a little bit there. So I'm not going to actually, right now I'm not going to reverse that. This worked out very cleanly though. Here we have the brick on the side edge. We now need to create the brick on the other edge. One thing I want to do right away though is actually grab the window, which I'm not doing. I've grabbed the window and I'm going to just modify its dimensions. I want to make this really, really tall, so we'll make it 16 feet tall. And I don't know if it looks narrow yet, so we'll go ahead and apply that. And our sill height is high, so let's move this down to, let's say, 3 feet. Okay, and so now we have that idea of the start of that deep window pocket. We want a little bit of room on top of this, so I'm going to raise this wall up to, well, let's say just start with 28 feet. And we can make that other kind of window up there at the top. What we haven't done yet is add that bottom angle piece. I'll end this clip here and then I'll pick it up again in the next clip. So I'll stop here.